How you doing today? Friends, family, Facebook, YouTube. This is Ivan coming at you again today on a Sabbath day with another lesson entitled Friends Shall Make War with Friends. Friends shall make war with friends, okay? Before I begin, I want to thank the Most High, Ahai, this morning for sanctifying today, being a Sabbath day. I want to thank the Most High for His Son, Yeshua HaMashiach, and also the Ruach HaKodesh. All right? Now, let's begin this morning in Isaiah chapter 28. Isaiah chapter 28, verses 9 through 11. Whom shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people. Let's go to Psalms 119, 104. Through thy precepts I get understanding. Therefore I hate every false way. Let's drop down to verse 128. Therefore I esteem all thy precepts concerning all things to be right, and I hate every false way. You know, I kind of hate it when people lie to me about the Bible, okay? So now that I know how to precept the Bible, I don't have to worry about anyone lying to me, all right? Verse 134. Deliver me from the oppression of man, so will I keep thy precepts. All right? Now, last week I was in 4th Ezra and 2nd Baruch, the book. Let me show it to you again. 4th Ezra and 2nd Baruch. Today we're going to be in 4th Ezra, chapter 6, and we're going to start at verse number 7. And it's the parable of Jacob and Esau. Verse number 7. And I answered and said, what will be the dividing of the times, or when will be the end of the first age and the beginning of the age that follows? He said to me, from Abraham to Abraham, because from him were born Jacob and Esau. For Jacob's hand held Esau's heel from the beginning. For Esau is the end of this age, and Jacob is the beginning of the age that follows. For the end of a man is his heel, Esau, and the beginning of a man is his hand, Jacob. Between the heel and the hand, seek for nothing else, Ezra. So, like I said, Jacob and Esau is a parable. It's nothing but a timeline, okay? Esau's end is here. Now, Jacob is about to rule the earth for 1,000 years with Christ, all right? Now, our next header is going to be the end of the signs, okay? The end of the signs. Chapter 6, verse 11. I answered and said, O sovereign Lord, if I have found favor in thy sight, show thy servant the end of the signs that thou didst show me in part on a previous night. He answered and said to me, rise on your feet, and you will hear a full, resounding voice, and it shall be, if the place where you are standing is greatly shaken, while the voice is speaking with you, do not be terrified, because the word concerns the end, and the foundations of the earth will understand. Verse 16, that the speech concerns them, that them is representing the Gentiles. Okay? The them is representing the Gentiles. They will tremble and be shaken. The Gentiles, they will tremble and be shaken, for they know that their end must needs be changed. And it should come to pass, when I heard this, I rose to my feet and listened, and behold, a voice was speaking, and its sound was like the sound of many waters. Now, let's precept that with Revelations chapter 14, verses 1 and 2. Revelations chapter 14, verses 1 and 2. And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written on their foreheads. Verse 2. And I heard a voice from heaven, as the voice of many waters, as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of a great thunder. And I heard the voice of harps, harping with their harps. Let's precept that with Ezekiel chapter 43, verse number 2. And behold, the glory of the God of Israel, the glory of the God of Israel came from the way of the east, and his voice was like a noise of many waters. Noise of many waters, and the earth shined with his glory. All right? Now, that was precepted with 4th Ezra chapter 6, verse number 16. Verse 18. And it said, behold, the days are coming, and it shall come to pass, that when I drew near to visit the inhabitations of the earth, and when I required from the doors, Salakia, from the doers of iniquity, the penalty of their iniquity, and when the humiliation of Zion is complete. Salakia. I swear I can't pronounce this word today. It's humiliation of Zion is complete. Meaning that we won't be called bywords anymore, okay? We won't be called colored, or black, or African American, or anything that humiliates us, okay? Now, we're going to go to, actually we're going to precept that, Salaki, with 2nd Baruch, chapter 24, verses 1. So we're in Ezra, now we're going to skip to 2nd Baruch. And we're going to start at verse 24, verse 1. For see days are coming, and books will be opened. GOCC. And books will be opened. And books will be opened. What books are we talking about? GOCC. The Book of Mormon, Doctrines and Covenants. These books will be opened. The Book of Joshua. These books will be opened. The Book of Jubilees. These books will be opened. The Sealed Book of Mormon. These books will be opened. The Apocrypha. These books will be opened. The Book of Remembrance. These books will be opened. The Book of Remembrance of Enoch. These books will be opened. The Testimony of the 12 Patriarchs. These books will be opened. The Second Stick. These books will be opened. The Sefer, the Torah. These books will be opened. Stop playing around, GLCC. Playing with the wrong one. Let's start over. Verse 24, chapter 24, verse number 1. For see, days are coming, and books will be opened, in which are written the sins of all who have sinned, and furthermore, also the reservoirs in which the righteousness is gathered, and all who have been found righteous in creation. At that time, you and the many who are with you will see the long sufferings of the Most High, that is throughout all generations, who has been long suffering for the sake of all who were born, both sinners and righteous. I answered and said, But see, O Lord, no one knows the number of those who have passed, or of those who are not yet to come. For see, I too know that has been fallen me. But what will happen to those who hate us? But what will happen to those who hate us? What would happen to those that call us niggers? What's going to happen to all the people that hung us from the trees and fed our babies to alligators? What's going to happen to all those who hate us? I don't know. Or when you will visit your works. He answered and said to me, You too will be preserved until that time, until that sign which the Most High will make for the inhabitations of the earth at the end of days. At the end of days. Now, we're in 2nd Baruch. Now we're going to go back to 4th Ezra. 4th Ezra chapter 6, and we're going to be at verse number 20. Verse number 20. And when the seal will be placed upon the age which is about to pass away, then I shall show these signs, the books. The books shall be opened before the firmament, and all shall see it together. Now, Christ is saying that he's going to show us a sign. A sign. Let's go to the Book of Mormon. GOCC. Let's go into the Book of Mormon. Let's go to 3rd Nephi. Let's go to 3rd Nephi chapter 21. Remember, Christ said he's going to send us a sign. Remember that, okay? Let's get the header in chapter 21. Israel shall be gathered when the Book of Mormon comes forth. Who's going to be gathered? GOCC. Israel shall be gathered when the Book of Mormon comes forth. Let's start at verse number 1. And verily I say unto you, I give unto you a sign, that ye may know the time when these things shall be about to take place, that I shall gather in from their long dispersion my people, O house of Israel. Who? O house of Israel. And shall establish again among them my Zion. Verse 2. And behold, this is the thing which I will give unto you for a sign. He's going to give us what for a sign? The Book of Mormon for a sign. For verily I say unto you, that when these things which I declare unto you, and which I shall declare unto you hereafter of myself, and by the power of the Holy Ghost, which shall be given unto you of the Father, shall be made known unto the Gentiles, that they may know concerning this people, who are a remnant of the house of Jacob. House of who? House of Jacob. And concerning this my people, who shall be scattered by them. Now, this sounds like Christ right here. Okay? This sounds like Yeshua HaMashiach right here. Remember, my sheep hear my voice. My sheep hear my voice. If you picked up that Book of Mormon and you didn't hear that, you ain't a sheep. You're not a sheep. Christ says, sheep hear my voice. So be careful, GOCC, who you coming up against. All right? Now, let's get back into chapter 6, verse 20. And when the seal will be placed upon the age which is about to pass away, then I shall show these signs, the Book of Mormon. The books shall be opened before the firmament, and all shall see it together. And it will come to pass at that time, friends shall make war on friends like enemies. There's a title here, okay? And the earth and those who inhabit it shall be terrified, and the springs of the foundations shall stand still, so that for 3 hours they shall not flow. For 3 hours they shall not flow. Now, let's go to 4th Ezra, chapter 13, and we're going to read verses 30 through 35. Doing good on time. 4th Ezra, chapter 13, verses 30 through 35. And bewilderment of mind shall come over those who dwell on the earth, and they shall plan to make war against one another, city against city, place against place, people against people, and kingdom against kingdom. And when these things come to pass, and the signs which occur I showed you before, then my servant will be revealed. Remember, when this sign occur, which I showed you before, then my servant will be revealed, whom you saw as a man coming up from the sea. Coming up from the sea. Let's go to Matthew chapter 24. No, Salakia. Matthew chapter 14, verses 25 through 26. And in the 4th watch of the night, Yeshua went unto them walking on the sea. And in the 4th watch of the night, Yeshua went unto them walking on the sea. Let's get back in here. Let's repeat verse number 32. And when these things come to pass, and the signs, remember the Book of Mormon, occur which I showed you before, then my servant will be revealed, whom you saw as a man coming up from the sea, which is precepted with Matthew chapter 14, verses 25. Now let's get back into it. And in the 4th watch of the night, Yeshua went unto them, walking on the sea. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, saying, It is a spirit, and they cried out for fear. Now, and when all nations hear his voice, every man shall leave his own land, and the warfare, Salakia, that they have against one another. And the innumerable multitude shall be gathered together, as you saw, desiring to come and conquer him. What? Oh, we got some nations. You see, when Yeshua comes, we got some nations that want to go to war, and they're going to want to conquer the Lamb. Okay? Now, this is absolutely crazy. I mean, you got all these nations claiming that they love God, that they love his son, but you see, when Christ comes, got 10 nations. They want to fight them. They want to conquer him. Okay? Let's go to Revelations chapter 17. And we're going to read verses 12 through 14. And the 10 horns, and the 10 horns, which thou sawest are 10 kings. Those 10 kings are going to be 10 nations, okay? Which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. These shall make war with the Lamb. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and kings of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. Now, let's precept that with Jude chapter 1 and 14. And Enoch also, the seventh from Adam, prophesied of these, saying, Behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000 of his saints. With 10,000 of his saints. That's crazy. You got 10 nations want to fight the Lamb when he comes. I'm sitting here just laughing right now. It's crazy. It's crazy. And he letting y'all know that you're not going to win. Esau, you're not going to win. All right, verse number 35. But he shall stand on top of Mount Zion. But he shall stand on top of Mount Zion. Let's go to Revelations. Revelations chapter 14, verses 1. Let's go to Revelations chapter 14, verses 1. And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his Father's name written on their foreheads. Now, we're going to have 10,000 angels. We're going to have 144,000 Hebrew Israelites. 12,000 from each tribe. Going to war with the Gentiles. Going to war with the 10 nations, the 10 kings, the Gentiles. That every Sunday, they love him. They love him every Sunday. But when he comes, they're going to go to war with him. It's crazy. It's really crazy. Verse 36. I'm almost done. And Zion will come and be made manifest to everybody, prepared and built as you saw the mountain carved out without hands. All right? Now, the title today, Friends Shall Make War with Friends. It's happening now, Israel. It's happening now with the Trump supporters and the Biden supporters. They're clashing. They're clashing right now. They're fighting right now. And it's going to get intense. So we're just going to sit back and watch this little fight. The Gentiles going at it. And we're just going to chill out. Stay warm during the winter time. Hopefully. They don't shut down the TV or the internet. This is going to be funny as hell. So get your popcorn, get your wine. And let's stay in tune. Keep your eyes on the news in the coming weeks. I love you guys, both Jews and Gentiles. All right? Y'all take care. It is 4 o'clock in the morning. 4:20 in the morning. And my eyes is feeling very, very